Hey, Dave from Makes Me Want Arts here. Today we're going to look at the couch stretch, which is for opening hip extension. So hip flexion is here, hip extension is the other way. I'm going to use a wall. This was originally named couch stretch because you can use a couch for this if you want. If you have a hard surface here, I'm going to recommend getting a yoga mat, something soft for your knee. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our shin and get it as close to the wall as we can, stepping our other foot out. Now, important here, and I don't see this emphasized a lot, do not let this leg slide out to the side. If I was looking at this from straight on, you shouldn't be able to see the heel. You want to have that tucked back, touching the butt, or close to it. This is so you don't put strain, torque in the knee, and end up injuring yourself while trying to do a mobility exercise. So first is the high couch stretch. I'm going to sit up tall. I can use my hands on my support leg. Without arching my back, I'm going to try to find a little posterior pelvic tilt. So tucking the tail under, and then bringing my whole spine back towards the wall. Keep going. Drive your knee into the ground. So you should feel this opening up this hip flexor, feeling it in the quad muscle. Specifically rectus femoris, the outermost quad, which is the only one that attaches to the hips, to the ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine, and it goes down and meets the other four quads to form the patellar tendon at the kneecap. So the high couch stretch is for the quads. Next we're going to slide into the low couch stretch. So I'm going to slide this foot out, trying to bring my working hip, my back hip, as low as I can to the floor. Make sure you're not twisting here. So you can keep the hands here. I like to keep them on my waist. Think of it like you're going into the splits, but with a bent front leg. Driving that knee into the ground, so we're trying to stay active here, using the muscles. So the low couch stretch is getting into the psoas muscle. A deeper muscle attaches to the first three lumbar vertebrae and then comes out and attaches to the hip bone. So this is responsible for hip flexion. I'll show what that means in a moment, but for now, that's the high and low couch stretch. If you want to add a little bonus to this, you can start to slide the heel out like you're going into a front split. And then this little flossing motion going in and out of this position, driving knee into the ground and back, and heel into the ground in front. So you get this little bonus working the hip extension in the back, while the hamstring hip flexion in the front. Good. Let's go to the other side here. High couch stretch. Remember, first thing, don't let it go out to the side. I'm trying to keep my heel underneath my butt. And then posterior pelvic tilt, tucking the tail, sitting up tall, bringing your whole back towards the wall, and driving that knee into the ground. High couch stretch is for the quads. Low couch stretch is for the deep hip flexors, the psoas. Sliding into the low couch stretch. Get as low as you can with that front hip. Making sure you're not twisting your hips, they're staying square. Actively driving that knee into the ground. Staying active in the muscles. And enjoy. 30 to 45 seconds per position is a good dosage. Take a breath. And just for fun, we'll bring our fingers to the ground and start to slide that leg out and back. Maintaining the stretch, the active stretch, driving the knee into the ground and back, driving this heel into the ground, even as I slide in and out of the position. Good. That's the couch stretch. One last thing I want to say if you want to intensify this stretch. A couple different ways to do it. One is by going through tension and relaxation. So if I was doing that, I would start to really bring full force, 80% force we'll say, activity into this muscle, driving the knee into the ground, bringing the hip forward while bringing the spine, the back to the wall, and then relaxing. So you can go between tension and relaxation in the exercise. Option 2 is for the low couch stretch. So if I was here, I could grab a 10 to 20 pound weight and put it over the shoulder of this open hip flexor. So I can make another video specifically showing that. I'm at my home right now, so I don't have my weights handy, but you can load this stretch by putting a weight here, and that can be a really nice thing to add to the stretch. So hip extension is what we're working on here. If you think about the front splits, hip extension is the one in back, hip flexion, the hamstring flexibility, determines the one in front. If you're working towards the splits, working on both the hamstring and the hip extension, individually, specific exercises, this is one you can use for hip extension, working on the two parts individually and then bringing it together into an active front splits exercise is going to be the most potent bang for your buck. So another video on the front splits that's out there somewhere, but just to give the very quick breakdown for that. So I come to a front split, I'm gonna bring my heel up in front, my back leg is active, my knee is locked out in the back leg, I'm driving my heel towards the ground. If I was doing this in a program, I would go for about 30 to 45 seconds, holding my whole body weight. And then I would go grabbing the ground or with blocks and take another 15 to 30 seconds, either staying active the whole time, driving my heel, my heel and the top of my foot into the ground, so I'm staying active. Or I could do the same active, 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 relax. Active, 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 relax. Going through a cycle of 5 to 10 seconds active, and then 5 to 10 seconds relaxation. There's a lot of different protocols for that, but the principle of activating the muscle and then relaxing it will go a long way. But highly, highly recommend finding active mobility. So not just hanging out in passive front splits all day long. We want to be able to use this range of motion. So you can do that by using it, isometric holds, holding your whole body weight up in the splits. It's morning time as I'm recording this. I haven't done any mobility yet today, so being able to access the splits cold with full body weight is a thing that will result in consistent, persistent practice of active flexibility.